yes, yes. I have taught this to my class for the last. We've had the most potent conversations around this topic right here. And when I tell them this, it never fails. They always freeze and just say, "I just never thought about it." What I really believe, this is my own analysis, everybody. What I really believe subconsciously is our children keep calling themselves little and baby, etc., for two reasons. One, they missed their nurturing. They missed their nurturing. You know, you can spoil a child and never nurture them.
We're ready. We're prepared. Do not give in to fear. We are fearless. This is not the time to be afraid. This is a time to stand up and fight back and to resist any temptation for them to divide us. We're in this together. The rule of law is on our side. We will not give in, not give up. We will not capitulate. We will not bow. We will not bend. We will survive.
You ready to play this Kanye clip?
Yes, man.
All right. And before I play it, this is old Kanye. This is the Kanye before the event that happened. And the event that happened, I think, is losing his mom. I think losing his mom, his grounding, his rudder, his everything, put him on a trajectory that of confusion in many ways. We need to be grounded,
Yes.
you know.
Oh, yes. Oh, absolutely.
So if we don't have community to be grounded in, and once you become famous, it's really hard to find that because you don't know why people are there. You know, and you on your own with your own dis-ease with life, making decisions. And I know for a fact I did a book with Donda West called Raising Kanye. I spent a lot of time with her. I know her impact on his life. I know it. So when he stood up and said George Bush doesn't like black people, in many ways, it was everything that his mom implanted him. A woman that was arrested. She was in that lunch counter sitting that I talked about. She was part of the NAACP as a child. She's 4 years old, being arrested with her parents out in the streets. So Kanye is imbued with some things, you know, that may not be apparent to everybody as he's going through his mental health crisis. Even the Nazi thing, there's a contrarian spirit of exposing and holding up a mirror to the world, you know, as he did that day with the Hurricane Katrina telethon.
Right.
You're holding the mirror up, saying some things that make people uncomfortable. So I'm not judging him today. So I want to play this clip from the before time, because I think it was so powerful what he said out of his mouth. So I'm going to play it, and we're going to leave the N-word in because I think that's poignant too, Dr. Black. All right, play it, Smith.
I am a god. Everybody says, who does he think he is? I just told you who I thought I was. A god. I just told you. That's who I think I am. Would it have been better if I had a song that said, I am a nigga? Or if I had a song that said, I'm a gangster? Or if I had a song that said, I'm a pimp? All those colors and patinas fit better on a person like me, right?
So before this, he's talking about how they must have you hate yourself.
Yes.
And he said, I don't hate myself. I say I'm a god. Would it be better if I said I'm this, a thug, a gangster, you know, like that would feel better. And he also talks about how the music industry promotes that, right? The music industry puts a lot into the thug, the pimp. You know, how many songs about pimps? How many songs about thugs and gangsters? I did a quick list, Dr. Black, and I'm going to take it one step further, because he also talks about, you know, the infantilization of black men, how they must always never be full men.
Right.
And so I just did a thing with there's Lil Wayne, Lil Uzi Vert, Lil Baby, Lil Tecca Tyler, whose name is Justin Anthony Sharp. Little Tecca, known to his fans as Little Tecca, made a meteoric rise in the rap world, they say, with his breakout Ransom. What, did you kidnap somebody? Lil Yachty, Lil Scrappy, Lil Bow Wow, Lil Zane, Lil Peep, Lil TJ, Lil Nas X, who now has 4 felony charges against him, Lil Nas X, Lil Durk, Lil Pump, Lil Jon, woo, Lil Jon, Lil Flip, Lil Boosie, Little Bibby, Little Reese, Little Troy, Little Romeo, Little C's, Little Mo. I'm gonna put Little Mo in there. We like her. She is actually little. So I'm gonna say with the women, Little Kim and Little Mo, they actually very little. These are small statured women. But this also kind of, demeaning. Little Twist, Little Fizz, Little Flex, Little Baby, Da Baby. Then now we get the babies. Little Baby and Da Baby, Young Baby Tate, Baby Keem, Sada Baby. Now we get into the young. So they go from little to babies to young Jeezy, Young Thug, Young Buck, Young Scooter, Young Drug. So Dr. Black, there's a theme here. There's no Giant King, Mansa. Who names these people? And you could say they name themselves, but if the culture of music produces people who aren't saying that they're gods, as the 5% Nation, when rap first started,
Yes. I have taught this to my class for the last. We've had the most potent conversations around this topic right here. And when I tell them this, it never fails. They always freeze and just say, "I just never thought about it." What I really believe, this is my own analysis, everybody. What I really believe subconsciously is our children keep calling themselves little and baby, etc. for two reasons. One, they missed their nurturing. They missed their nurturing. You can spoil a child and never nurture them.
Whoa, okay.
Yeah, nurturing is not giving a child anything.
Okay.
Nurturing is not, you can give a child you can spoil a child rotten and you have not nurtured them for one moment. Nurturing a child is when you bring forth the seed and the greatness in them. Nurturing a child is when you touch them, when you anoint them, because they simply belong to you, not because they performed any task, because they simply exist. Most Black children have missed nurturing. The second thing I believe firmly is many of these rappers are calling themselves little this, young this, in order to tell the world, don't require me to be responsible for nothing. I do what the hell I want to do.
Interesting. Yet in real life, our children are treated like adults when they're little, when they're actually little.
That's right.
To the point that last week there was a story that Trump wants DC to charge 14-year-olds as adults. Ridiculous. He said they're not afraid of law enforcement because they know nothing happens to them, but it's going to happen now. The law in DC must be changed to prosecute these minors. He put up air quotes, minors as adults, and lock them up for a long time, starting at age 14. This is Trump. Washington, D.C. must be safe and clean and beautiful for all Americans to see the world. If D.C. doesn't get its act together, we will have no choice and then they took federal control. So the precursor to that was charging 14-year-olds, our babies, actual children, as adults.
Absolutely.
Meanwhile, on the flip side, we aren't requiring.
We've missed our passage. And so in missing our passage, our children are not ushered into eldership. They're not ushered into adulthood. And so many of them stay children. But the older they get, what we do, we all of a sudden want responsible adults. We want folks who would now go out and achieve things. And they're like, whoa. You ain't raised me to do all of that, right? Don't be expecting nothing from me. I'm a little baby. True. Which means don't expect nothing from me. If I want to do it, I will. If I don't, I don't have to. The minute you say kings, see the minute you say kings, a king is responsible for the entire province. A king stays up late at night thinking, oh no. They don't want
want none of that.
They might want the crown, but they don't want the responsibility of it. And so the notion of little baby this and little baby that, absolutely I get it. Because again, the other thing I'm gonna say is, it seems so simple, but the lack of touching Black children in the anointing, I don't mean the beating, I don't mean correction, the lack of anointing Black children has left most of them so unbelievably insecure that what they do is follow their ego instead of their promise.
What about Little Richard? Somebody in Nubia chat. Little Richard.
I think the same thing happened with Little Richard, because if we're talking about nurturing, his parents didn't nurture him.
Correct. I also think though, Little Richard did the Little Richard thing because, white people, if he was no threat, if he's,
Right.
Little Richard.
Little Richard,
Yeah.
right? Absolutely.
Yeah, he's not, I don't have to worry about my daughter and my,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
All of that big little, yeah. In fact, in my head, if you call me Little Dan, I'm like, excuse me, that's insulting. But it's because I see the beauty of adulthood, and I see that adulthood is the mantle I'm carrying now as part of the salvific nature of how I want to walk among my people. However, if a person did not mature into that, did not grow into that, did not understand that you go to work not just because of you, but because there are other mouths to feed in the community too, a person will see that as a burden.
We're ready. We're prepared. Do not give in to fear. We are fearless. This is not the time to be afraid. This is a time to stand up and fight back and to resist any temptation for them to divide us. We're in this together. The rule of law is on our side. We will not give in, not give up. We will not capitulate. We will not bow. We will not bend. We will survive.